What is up guys, it's Cheto here, and today we're going to be going over all the info on the new characters that are going to be appearing in release. Now I am going to be going over them briefly since I want to keep this video as short as possible. But if you want to go into all their details, I am going to be leaving a link to their Simper page and Game Press. Now huge shout out to Game Press and Cyrus M and the Datamined research team in the Pokemon Master Discord server. They did an amazing job. They pretty much did all of this here that we're going to be looking at, and go show them your appreciation and support. Now we're going to start off this list with the ones that we are going to be unlocking in story mode. So starting off the list, we have Viola. So Viola is going to be a bug type tech Simper. So she's going to start off with Surskate, but Surskate can evolve into Masquerain. Now Masquerain's two attacks are Infestation and Struggle Bug, which are both 2-bar attacks, and then Infestation leaves the target trapped, while Struggle Bug lowers the target's special attack. And then the trainer moves would be X Speed, which obviously raises the user's speed, and then Just Fantastic raises the user's special defense and also makes the user gradually heal itself. The Sync move is Silver Wind Victory Shot, and its power is increased if the target is trapped. Then the only passive skill that Masquerain has is Terrify 1, which lowers the attack when it enters the field. Anyways, so overall Masquerain has some pretty good defensive stats, meaning that she can take quite a few hits, but she does her tech job really well since she debuffs both the opponent's special attack and physical attack. Now for a unit that we are going to be unlocking through the story, I would say that she is pretty good. And if you don't have a decent bug type as of right now, I think she can definitely do the job. Next up, we have Nani with a Lowland Persian, who is a dark type and also a tech Simper. His two attacks are Bite and Screech, which are both 2-bar attacks. Now Bite can make the target flinch, while it has a moderate chance to do so, and then Screech lowers the target's defense. Now the trainer moves are X Speed, which raises the speed again, and then Just Warming Up raises the user's evasiveness and also ensures that the next attack will be a critical hit. So the Sync move is Dark Authority Black Hole Eclipse, and its power is increased if the target is flinching. Now the passive skill is Critical Sting 1, which means that when a critical hit lands, it raises the chance of making the target flinch, confuse, etc. Now overall, I think Nani is an average unit. It's very gimmicky. It's pretty much relying on making a Bite a critical hit. That way it can land the flinch and then have a more powerful Sync move. I think he is actually one of the more lackluster ones that we're going to be getting when the game fully releases. And we also kind of already have a glimpse at him since he is a boss in one of the super courses. But moving on, we have Koga with Crobat, who is a poison type and again another tech Simper. Now his attacks are going to be Poison Fang and Venoshock, which again are both 2-bar moves. Now Poison Fang has a good chance of leaving the target badly poisoned. So there's a difference between poison and badly poisoned. Badly poisoned, each time the opponent attacks, the damage that it takes will be worse. So it will be increasing in damage in comparison to the normal poison. Now Venoshock, its effect is that if the target is poisoned or badly poisoned, its power is doubled. Now the trainer moves are again X Speed and Move Like a Shadow, which raises the evasiveness and also critical hit rate. The Sync move is called Modern Ninja Sludge Bomb, and its power is increased if the target is poisoned or badly poisoned. Now its passive skill is Haste, which means that its speed cannot be lowered, and that is actually really good since Crobat has one of the highest speed stats in the game as of right now. So overall it's pretty good. This is a pretty good unit, and I'm hoping that he can work really well with his daughter Janine, so that way we can maybe make a Poison Team version 2 with Koga. I'm really looking forward to using him. He looks like a very fast character that is meant to poison everybody really quick. So going on to the next Simper that we're going to be getting in the story, it is going to be Acerola with Palossand. Now it is going to be a ghost type Simper and also a tech Simper. And its two attacks are Astonish, which is a 1-bar move that has a moderate chance of making the target flinch, and then while Sandstorm is more of a effect, and it's going to take 2 bars and obviously causes a Sandstorm. So the two trainer moves are X Defense, which obviously raises defense, and then over here, which makes all the opponents attack Palossand, and it also makes Palossand gradually heal itself. Now the sync move is called Never Ending Royal Nightmare, and the more the user's defense has been raised, the greater the power of the move. And then the passive skill would be Sand Fortress, which means that the stats cannot be lowered in a Sandstorm. Now, I don't think Acerola really does her gimmick that well, because her gimmick is to be able to take all the hits for the allies, to be tanking all the hits from the opponents, but her defense stats are pretty much average and her HP isn't that great. But it's finally nice to see that someone is going to be having a Sandstorm move, that way we can start making some Sandstorm teams. Now moving on to the last sync pair that we're going to be getting in the story, and that sync pair is Cheren and Stoutland. Now they're going to be a normal type sync pair, and actually the only support from the new story chapters. Now its two attacks are going to be Facade, which has its power doubled when the user is poisoned, badly poisoned, paralyzed, or burned, and it is going to cost 2 bars, while the other move is Crunch and it takes 3 bars, but has a small chance of lowering the target's defense. Now where I think that Cheren really shines, it's his trainer's moves, because it has a full heal, which right now it's not that important, but I think it's going to be more important in the future when status conditions are more effective, since full heal's effect is to remove all status conditions from an ally. Now its second trainer move is Apply Yourself, which increases the move gauge of all allied sync pairs by 2, which is always really nice to have, but it makes all allied sync pairs gradually heal themselves. Now I think that is really nice to have, especially if there's another support around, because that can make that support last even longer. So the sync move is called Fundamental Takedown, which has its power increase if the user is affected by a status condition, and then its passive skill is Outrun 4, which quickly charges the move gauge if the user is affected by a status condition. Now obviously Cheren's gimmick is to be affected by a status condition, that way he can be powered up and be more offensive, but honestly considering his stats and his defensive stats, they're all really good at making him a really good support, and especially his second trainer move, I think he is going to be one of the best supports in the game, especially since he is completely free to play. Now we are done talking about all the free to play sync pairs that we're going to be getting in release. We're going to start moving on into the ones that we're going to have to summon for. So we're going to start by talking about Hilbert and Oshawa. Now sadly, Oshawa isn't going to be evolving soon, but I definitely think that he's going to be evolving later on, as well as any Pokemon that can evolve. I definitely do think that it will evolve in the future. So it is going to be a water type sync pair, and it's going to be a support sync pair. Now its HP is average, but its defense stats are really good, making it have one of the highest bulk in the game. Now its two attacks is going to be Aqua Tail, which is a 2-bar move but doesn't have any additional effect, and then Waterfall, another 2-bar move that has a small chance of making the target flinch. Now X Speed All is always nice to have, since speed is what pretty much decides how fast your move gauge feels. Now in this together, which is probably the best trainer move from the sync pair obviously, is the lower that Hilbert's HP is, the more this move raises the attack of all allied sync pair. So this pretty much can be like a comeback mechanic. For example, if you're really low in HP, use in this together, that way you just buffed all your allies attack, and then heal Hilbert to maybe do this again later on. Now the sync move is called Water Sync Impact. No additional effect, because I definitely do think that Oshawa is going to be evolving in the future, and then it has the passive skill of Impervious, which means that its stack cannot be lowered. So it's pretty good, but then again, you're gonna have to summon for this sync pair. So moving on to the next sync pair that we're going to have to summon, it is going to be Lara with Chikorita. Now Chikorita is going to be able to evolve all the way into Meganium, and it's going to be a grass support sync pair. So its two Pokemon attacks are Energy Ball, which has a small chance of lowering the target's special defense and costs 2 bars, and Light Screen, which reduces special damage done to your allies, and is going to cost 3 bars. Now its two trainer moves are Dire Hit All, which sharply raises the critical hit rate of all sync pairs, and then Sunny Side Up, which raises the attack, special attack, and speed by 1 of all allied sync pairs, but it does it by 2 if the weather is sunny. So its sync move is going to be called Heart of Gold Leaf Storm, which has the effect the more the user's stats are raised, the greater the power of this move. And its passive skill is Solar Shield, which means that if the weather is sunny, this Pokemon is not affected by status conditions. So as you can see, clearly Meganium is probably going to be the best support for a sunny day team, but overall she is still a really good support because of Dire Hit All and Light Screen. And then also from that, Meganium has the highest HP stat in the game as of right now, which makes her be really tanky, which is part of the support role. So we're going to be moving on to the last sync pair of this list, and it's probably the most hyped sync pair of this list. And of course, I'm talking about Blue with Pidgeot. Now, Pidgeot is going to be able to Mega Evolve, so we're going to be going over Pidgeot first, and then Mega Pidgeot. So it is going to be a normal type sync pair, and it's going to be a strike sync pair focusing on special attack. Now, here we see that its attacks are going to be Air Slash and then Air Cutter, which are both 2-bar attacks. And now Air Slash has a moderate chance of making the target flinch, while Air Cutter is an AoE attack, which makes critical hits land more easily. And then its trainer moves are X Special Attack, which obviously raises special attack, and Smile-U-Later, which raises the user's evasiveness, accuracy, and critical hit rate by 1. Then the sync move is World Swallowing Hurricane, which makes it Mega Pidgeot, and then its passive skill is Acuity, which means that its accuracy cannot be lowered, and then also Haste, which means again that its speed cannot be lowered. So once it turns into Mega Pidgeot, it has a few small changes, but I think are very noteworthy. So Air Slash becomes Hurricane, which is a powerful 3-bar move and never misses when the weather is rainy, and also has a moderate chance of leaving the target confused. Now, again, its sync move is still World Swallowing Hurricane and has the same passive skill, and the rest of the moves are the same. But here, as Mega Pidgeot, it has the highest special attack in the game, and also a pretty high speed. So Blue with Pidgeot is probably going to be a top tier strike unit. I can definitely see it maybe paired with Rosa and Winona, so Winona for the rain and Rosa for the special attack support. Personally, I'm going to try to summon for Blue since I definitely want to try him out. But that is all the new info that we got for these new trainers. And then I would definitely recommend to save up your gems if you're already playing the game right now, because there is a confirmed guaranteed 5-star banner coming with the release of the game. That is all for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.